He's on good form, and certainly in Gothenburg last week he was. Taking the win ahead of Edwin Evertson on the Kawasaki. Sorry, that was in Holland. That was the opening round. He took the win ahead of another American, Doug Dubach, on a Yamaha, with Pedro Tractor third. And that was enough to put Tractor in the lead in the Rodale Championship at that point. But Pedro at the moment is well downfield. He doesn't seem to be getting on too well with this track. Craig is looking like he could eat into his lead here. Young's pressing on well, but he must know all the time that Craig is getting awfully close to him, beginning to look menacing. Pekka, who had to restart back in 7th position, has a lot of work to do. Here's Bavut, followed by Van Drunen. Vekkanen recovering well, with Evertson giving him a hard time. And at that point, Craig gets his lead. He swoops round the outside. Young desperately tries to hold that inside line, but it's too late. Craig has the speed and he takes the lead. Bavut's third, Van Drunen fourth, but Mike Craig where he wants to be. And now I think that Pedro Tractor's lead in the Rodale Stadium Motocross World Championship could be in real danger. This kid hasn't been making many mistakes today, although we did see one fairly dramatic one in the opening title sequence. But on the basis of his form at Gothenburg, then it could be that Mike Craig has already got this sewn up. At the moment, he's only 8 points behind Pedro Tractor. So with 20 points for a win, 17 points for second, 15 for third, 13 for fourth, 11, 10, 9, etc., down to 15th place. That means Pedro Tractor has got a lot of work to do if he's going to secure enough points today to retain his hold on that title series. Notice Craig's now, he's got that little bit of a lead. He's free to choose his own lines. He knows he's not being threatened. Just a little bit wider through the turn there, a little bit more safely, even a little bit more comfortable through the whoops, which are getting rather unpleasant ruts in them there. Van Drunen is trying very hard now. He's beginning to close on Bavut, and he's done it wrong. Desperately wrong. The bike pitches him down hard over the handlebars. Vekkanen and Evertson get through, Jones gets through, Kehoe gets through. As Van Drunen struggles to restart. The Venco Hondas drop well down the field now, but he's got going again okay. That was a nasty moment for him. Up front, meantime, Craig still looks comfortable. Getting the whoops right. The main thing is not to do what both Lyles and Van Drunen have done, which is to land with the underside of the bike on top of one of those humps. If you do that, if you case it, as they say, then your chances of survival are pretty slim, unless you're a very strong chap. And Billy Lyles, they don't come much stronger than Billy Lyles. If Billy couldn't hold that, I shouldn't think anyone could. And here we see Van Drunen again. Oh, hits it badly, loses the front end. And Pekka almost takes his bike out. He just manages to pick up the front end of the Yamaha and get it pulled away to the right to avoid the fallen machine, with Edwin Evertson following suit. So plenty of drama in this third round of the Rodale World Championship. And look what one mistake can do to a guy, because Billy Lyles, who set off in third place, finds himself about to be lapped by young Mike Craig. And Lyles himself is probably still in the points as well. He pulls well over to let young Craig through. Any experienced man will always leave plenty of room for a leader to get through. So rejoin us after the break for some more hectic action from Helsinki. From his young compatriot Chris Young on the Suzuki. This Kawasaki that Mike Craig's riding has an interesting perimeter frame that that Kawasaki have built for both their 250 production bikes and their 500cc factory bikes this past 2 years. In fact, there's quite a few Kawasaki's that are traditionally painted this bright green colour showing well in the results at the moment. Bervorts is on one, Edwin Evertson is on one, and also in there, of course, are the Japanese Hondas and the red Hondas, the yellow Suzukis. A 6-second lead Craig has now pulled out over young Chris Young. It is a shame not to see any European representation from the Austrian factory KTM. The American Mike Fisher is presently lying joint 10th in the championship with Van Drunen after picking up 11 points in Gothenburg last weekend. And he also had a very good season on the American Supercross circuits, nailing 8th place in their 250cc Supercross championship, which was an excellent result for the Austrian factory. Sadly, rumour has it that they're in some sort of financial trouble and that we may see a takeover of this of the firm that produces, the only other firm that produces excellent machinery besides the Cagiva Husqvarna factory in Italy for this particular sort of event. There's the Kawasaki of Marnik Bervorts. And Evertson has paid off. He's got past Vekkanen. That'll stir up the 27-year-old Finn, especially in front of his home crowd. And they're urging him on now to try and repay that compliment and get himself back into 4th place. And the yellow flag's out. Someone's collected one of those bales. The marshal hurriedly replacing it so that it doesn't stay in the middle of the track. And Craig still looking comfortable. Here's Chris Young. I don't think Bervorts is trying to close that gap on Chris Young, but he's not having too much success around this tight track. Craig grabbing good air time over the double and the tabletop. No sign as yet of Pedro Tractor. So it really is beginning to look as if Mike Craig may take the lead in this World Stadiums Motocross Championship after the 3rd round. And there's a faller. The yellow flag is out to make sure he avoids number 12, who is Peter Ivan from Belgium on a Suzuki. He rides comfortably through. Ivan picks himself up and gets on with his race. Now, of course, a lap down. And with 2 laps to go, it's beginning to look as if Mike Craig has sewn up the Helsinki round of the Rodil Motocross Stadium World Championship. Drops into that nasty little right-hander that's caught out 2 of his main rivals today. Mike Jones in a semi-final and Pekka Vekkanen when leading the final. A little bit wide around the turn that caught out Pedro Tractor, who it looks as if he's going to succeed as championship leader after today. Meantime, Young, the lapped Peter Ivan, Marnik Bervorts, and Vekkanen still hounding young Edwin Evertson. He doesn't want to let the crowd down, and Pekka's going for the inside. Can he get it? Yes. A terrific roar from the crowd as he forces Evertson almost into the bales, and he's chosen the right time to do it. With just a lap to go, Evertson's going to have to work mighty hard to get him back now. Vekkanen knows that if he can hold it there, then at least he's given his faithful public a bit of hot action. Here's Craig, back into those ruts, which are getting very nasty ruts in them now. Notice he's cut over a little bit to the right-hand side to avoid them, to try and find a bit of smoother track. Hits the right-hander, decides just what he might do for the crowd as he sails up, gives them a quick thumbs up. Hi folks, that's it for today. He's done his job, and it looks as if he's taken the lead in the World Championship. Another legs-off job from Chris Young, 3rd Marnik Bervorts, and away from a triumphant Vekkanen. the crowd will appreciate that. The fact that their dear old veteran has managed to get himself a 4th place and keep himself also in the title hunt in this particular series. It looks as if Mike Craig, now with 40 points, will have moved on ahead of, and there's no sign of Tractor in the top 8.
Mike, congratulations to win that final. Did you have any problems, and how you feel it now?
I felt really good. The track, turned out a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and it worked towards my advantage. If it stayed a little bit smooth, I don't think I would have passed him. The track roughened up, and I had a lot of fun out here, and I'm happy to win in Finland. I've never done it.
Good. Where are you gonna race next time?
In Madrid next weekend, so I'll go home and practice up and get ready to try to win that. Try to make it 3 in a row.
Okay, thanks to being in Finland, and good luck then.
Thank you very much.
So there's Mike Craig, who's taken the lead in the Stadium Motocross World Championship standings now with 40 points, 5 points ahead of Pedro Tractor. The Dutchman actually managed to get 9th place and 7 points, which gives him 35 in total, with Pekka Väkkönen sneaking in there with 31 points in 3rd place, Edwin Evertson on 28, Chris Young on 26, and defending champion Mike Young, who finished 7th in that race, on 23 points. So they'll be off to Madrid, where, as he said in the interview with ex-125 GP contender Mika Kuki, Mike Craig will be attempting to make it a hat-trick in this Rodil Stadium Motocross Championship Series. And at the moment, on this sort of form, it looks like the 22-year-old from El Cajon, California, will be a difficult man to beat.